Carved a grin from ear to ear. October's best night of the year. Candles glowing orange and bright. Jack-o'-lanterns light the night.
Learn writing spooky stories. It's a practical workshop for kids. My name is Manon Doucet. So hi everyone. I'm so glad to be here with you today. I am a writer, publisher, a creative coach with a lifelong passion for storytelling and imagination. Over the years, I've written and published books that range from magical adventure to for young readers, to powerful self-development guide for adults. I also teach workshops on writing, creativity, and how to turn your idea into books that truly connect with the readers. My company, Mary Anderson Publisher Limited, it's built on one core belief that everyone's story has the power to transform lives. Whether it's through a spooky middle grade tales or a heartfelt memoir, my goal is to help writers like you to find your voice and bring your story to life. So today we're going to dive into the art of storytelling, and I promise we'll make it both inspiring and fun. Small workshop, writing middle's great with me, Manon. I just did the whole spiel without reading this one. These are a few of the books that I have published over the years. That's just a few. I have to keep updating these things. Okay, the beautiful housekeeping. Cameras off, mute if possible to reduce the feedback in the background so it doesn't disturb me when I'm teaching, so I don't lose my workflow or my ideas. Raise your hands. You have that little heart shape button that you can click on it and raise your hands. Or write question in big letters like you see here in the chat, and I will try to get to it as soon as I can. You'll receive a quick email at the top of the hours from Sudowrite asking you for your feedback. So I always enjoy seeing those big stars showing up, and even more when you actually write what you did like and what you like to see in the future session. Yeah, tell me in 1 or 2 sentences what you like about the session today and what you like to see in the future. Okay, so we're going to do a small setting here, and let's start by one question. How many of you are brand new to Sudowrite? Or are we all very advanced writers here? So you can put in a chat, or you can unmute and tell me if you're brand new or how long you've been using Sudowrite. Robert is new. Hi, Robert. How long you been new? Like a day or two, a week? I got not new. A year and a half. Hi, Betty. A month. All right. So you did go a bit around a whole dinosaur. 3 years, maybe longer. Nice, Sherry. Cool. So I have some people which are very knowledgeable with me. It sounds fantastic. So Robert, you learn how to navigate Sudowrite. Did you start writing anything in it, or you're totally lost? I'm writing. Perfect, you're getting comfortable. I'll try not to go too fast. We're going to talk a lot about how to build a spooky story for middle grade before we enter inside Sudowrite. So we're going to talk a lot and make you think about a couple of things on how to write. So I have to get these things off because I cannot even read what's written on my screen. So spooky stage, exploring the fun of writing hour. So welcome again to this class, age appropriate hour, story middle grade, Okay, did that. Story structure. So how do we story structure? And I just did that very quickly, this setup inside my canvas. Setup, setting, introduce key character, the spooky problem, the rising suspense, and safe resolution. All right, let's go into my notes here because I have a lot of questions to ask you. And I will share the other screen at the same time because this one doesn't show what I want you to see. Let's see here. There we go. So everyone see my screen? That's my Sudowrite screen. Perfect. That's what I see too. Let's get this here. Close that. It's only when we are inside the Zoom that we can see all the stuff in the background. So you only see my screen. That's good. Okay. So I got a bunch of questions for you to ask you. So how we go about to write a spooky story. And again, I have two computers open, so that's going to be fun. So I have a workflow when I sit down at my computer and I start writing. And spooky story, you always have this, like, how am I going to do a spooky story? And I don't know about you, but sometimes we have a tendency to think about spooky story. If it's too spooky, it's becoming like an adult story. How do we stay in that key range that we have middle grade? Because middle grade is not like an adult. You don't want to scare them and they don't go to bed at all, and then the parents is not happy on us at all. So how do we do that? So I have a few questions to ask you, and I will show you a few of the things I did, plus a nice little story that I'm going to share with you and how I go about it. I did a few class during the week with Dahlia, and I did see a couple of problem as I went along. Problem, yes, yes and no. It's not really a problem. It's just the way that other people see how thing goes. For me, I have no problem to teach people to bring their story in and develop their story they already have to learn Sudowrite. It's called a one-on-one. So if you're not alone to learn Sudowrite, it's fantastic to have someone to actually walk you through with something you already have. And then you can practice on that. So at least you know your character, you know your setting, you know your core stories, and you don't have to play with that one. You can duplicate it as many times as you want and get a perfect story at the end. I'm just a bit different, sorry, than the other one. All right. Before I go and I start going inside my rambling, because then when as an artist, when you go in, you kind of lose track and sometimes you don't see everything that's going on. Do you have precise question today that you'd like to be answered? Because it's a 4-day session, so we have a lot of time to answer all your question also. It seems like we're doing pretty good on that. Okay. No question? No, nothing that you like to see very, very fast? All right. Anyway, at the top of the hour, when I'm done, I'm going to stop the recording, and everything you are too shy during the recording, we can do the after candlelight party where we can actually just go loose and ask all the questions we need to ask. All right. First question I have for you. Do you remember when you were a kid, the very first story or TV show you saw that scared you? Yes or no? Do you remember? Yes. Yep. Creature feature. Perfect. How many of you that remember their first story that scared them as a kid, they read it again or went to see the movie more than once or the TV show more than once? Yeah. Young Frankenstein. Yeah, I like that one too. Fabulous. Now, as a writer, that's what we want. We want the children to come back and ask for that story or that movie, or, if you're lucky enough to have your script taken by a TV show or Walt Disney or something like that, that they can look at it more than once and everything else. So that's would be a super, it's a dream. It's a big goal for most of us to have that. So from there, you can see that you already answer a few questions that most writers, when they sit down on the computer, they ask themselves. So how do I go about creating something like that? Creating a creepy story, creating a protagonist and an antagonist. How do we get all these in? So I'm going to share this little screen here with you. Let me move that question on the other side. I'm going to share this so you can read with me. Those are the core questions for creepy story. All right. So you have the first information here to go about. So 25 question, concept and hook. So how do we go about getting a good protagonist? As you can see here, one of my sentence, the premises that make people say, ooh, that's creepy. So one of those sentences that make you say that is one of the things that can start you with a good book. So what familiar things I am making scary, the costume, doll, house, camp, etc. What's the twist that make these feel fresh, not just another vampire story? So our protagonist, I built up like 6 questions to ask yourself to build a protagonist that will attach to your reader. And for one thing, for me, is like it has to attach to me because I need to feel attached to my protagonist and yeah, the antagonist too, to make the story important and interesting. Because if I lose my own need to read or write that story, what's the point? So first, who is my hero? So what the age of my hero is personality, what make them relatable to my readers or to me? What normal kids' problem are they dealing with? New school, divorce, grief, not fitting in. What are they afraid of to start? What their special strength or skill? So observant, loyal, creative, brave. The only thing they know is art or gym, things like that. Who's their closest ally or friends, if they have any, because often enough they start with very little. How will they change by the end? This is a big, big question. When we use AI, if you don't already have your story in your mind on how the story is going to be going, how the story end. So that's one thing that years ago when I was teaching Sudowrite, I says, well, you do the first chapter, the middle chapter, and the end chapter, and you read all 3 chapters, so you know you can build a between. So to this day, it's similar to those years ago. Any of you have a tricks when it comes to middle grade story? How you get to find your hero, or are you just asking ChatGPT, Claude, or Sudowrite to make heroes for you? Do you come in with your story, or everything is done by AI? Don't be shy. You can unmute yourself. And we have a fantastic number, 13. Too bad we're not Friday. I do both. I wrote middle grade book pre-AI. Perfect. All right, so we have both ends. So we have people which have their own story in their head, and they come in and it says, okay, how do you go, Patty, may I ask you a question? When you go about your protagonist, antagonist, and pre-AI, how did you come up with your character? Give her a chance to write down or unmute if she wants. Actually use an older character that fit well with the storyline. Kids love it. Can I ask you the name of the character you wrote on? The Boogeyman. Oh, nice. His name was Murray. That's cool. I really like it. And that's one thing when I write a book. Uh, there's a lot of things like I have a series of 365 books that or stories that I'm writing. And one thing which is hard is to have most of the story have different names. But what I like to do is having names that already exist, simple name that people can relate to. I wrote a duology series that followed three siblings set during Halloween. Oh, that's nice. Are you into the Sudonono or the Halloween that we're going in November? Ah, okay. So that's something that in Discord, I'm sure you can find Sudonono and find out that we get credit. You can get 1 million credit by writing one of your book through Sudowrite. And I'm not exactly sure how they follow up. It doesn't have to be published, but if you write, I think it's 50,000 words about, you get 1 million credit. So it's kind of nice to have. So fantastic. Let's keep on going. Thank you, Patty, for sharing with us. All right, so we have our protagonist. So where did I go here? So protagonist is here. We have our question. And then we have our villain, the monster. We also have question for that. So what is my monster villain? 1 million credit is pretty sweet. Yes, it is. What is my monster villain? What does it want? Because normally a villain wants something. What are its power and its ability? What are its weakness, limitation? What are the rules when they have like they play with magic and things like that? And most villains they don't like the rules, so they try to break them all. When it appear, what triggers that antagonist and how it hunts? So these are for our character. Those are the questions you can ask yourself. Now, with Sudowrite, we can ask those questions too. We have a protagonist and everything else. We can start directly to storm protagonist, but you have to have a small idea on what you want to write also. How do we do that with Sudowrite? There's many ways to go about it. So we can go with, let's see, we get a couple of questions here. We'll go right here in the tools. And in the tools, you have that brainstorm. So we can go in the brainstorm, we can go in the describe, we can go in all of them and find something to do character. But let's go with brainstorm. In brainstorm, we have this character box here. So when we click on it, we can ask a few questions on our protagonist, antagonist, and things like that. So let's give a little brainstorming on our character that we know what we want a little bit about. And I'm going to my note on the side too, because I don't want to miss anything on all the information I put down here. I have golden rules, hands straight up. I think we're doing all right. Okay, so give me a list of. We're doing an Halloween story, right? So, kickstart of brainstorming for the my protagonist just won the lottery. So, I need a protagonist, protagonist for my Halloween story. And it is around pumpkins and also for middle grade children. Okay, we can even give more here. It's going to be a short story. Or with humor. Anything else you like to put inside this to kickstart? We can give some idea also. What else we can say? The gardener is a vampire. Oh, it's not writing. Come on. Mhm. Pictures are monsters. Let's go with that, see what it's going to give us. I just wrote a few things in there and let's see what it's going to give us. Let's get him to think. Thinking. All right. So we give it a few ideas there and see what it's going to give us. So first, our protagonist for Halloween story, a young witch in training whose magic only works when she's touching pumpkins. He did go to get the pumpkins, all right. Thumbs up or down on this one? Do we like this or not for that story? Thumbs up? Okay. So the new student who moved to town and accidentally unleashed an ancient spirit trap in town's prize-winning giant pumpkins. Up or down? Thumbs up. Kids who discover their carved pumpkins can speak at midnight and warns them about the school annual Halloween carnival. Up or down? The school gardener with a child who discovered their parents' pumpkins contain trap soul of troublemaker. Oh, I like that. Cool. So we have 1, 2, 3. They're all good. Okay. A kid who discovered their carved pumpkin can speak at midnight and warn them. Yeah, why not? A scary cat, 11 years old, who discovered they can transform into a cat when they eat pumpkin seeds. Well, that's going to be an interesting story. Twin who realized that the pumpkin patch behind their house grow pumpkins that mirror people personality, and something sinister is happening to their teacher pumpkin. Okay. A clever kids who run a pumpkin detective agency. That might be a bit outside, but maybe. Solve neighborhood Halloween pranks, but stumble upon the real monster mystery. They're all good. Wonder what that's going to do all together. Okay, we're going to get this one too. Then we're going to go back and ask. We want the antagonists. Antagonist for my win story and his own pumpkins and some integrated school, short story or with humor. Done. Is it going to give it to me? A shy 12 years old, or maybe I have to, should I have to do all that? Just to make sure, set that a copy. Done. I want to make sure we get the right info here. Done. Yeah, okay, good. All right, just need a bit of refresh here. A rival middle school principal whose secret breed mutant pumpkins eat bugs to ruin the annual pumpkins carving competition at the protagonist school. The Pumpkin King, an ancient entity that possessed the largest pumpkins in the patch each year and convinced the small pumpkins to rebel against their be uncarved. Not so good, is it? A ghostly pumpkin pie chief from the 18 who's on the local bakery turns ordinary pumpkins into hypnotic pie that can make children tell only the truth for 24 hours. Kind of cute. That's going to be a real messed up story, but let's see. A grumpy old scarecrow who comes to life each Halloween, jealous of jack-o'-lanterns getting all the attention, so it plot the sabotage at Town Pumpkins Festival. I like that. The town ancestry pumpkins farmer who secretly breeds sentient, mischievous pumpkins that roll around at night, causing trouble while looking adorably innocent. Okay, we have a few here. So how we do brainstorming, just like that. Just get a few information in that brainstorm and get a few things. And yes, each time you thumbs up or each time one new card shows up, it gets you it takes credit away from you. I can show you that too. So let's save and go out of this. And our brainstorm is right here. So it's not lost nowhere, it's right here. It's so much credit that use. So 8, 6, 6, 6, 6, 5, 5. So it's not too bad. When you give us good idea, it's not too bad. All right. Okay. So we have this. Now we can also get some setting. We know it's at school. So where does it take place? You can be specific. What's happened there in the past? What make the da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to play with ChatGPT now. And like I said, I'm just going into a workflow right now. So hopefully if you have some question, please stop me. It's just my workflow just taking over right now. So if I lose you on the way, let me know. Okay, so young witch training. So we have this one here. Those are our protagonists. I'm going to go get our protagonist right now. Twins who realize the clever kids run the pumpkin, the ghostly pumpkin chief from the 1800s. Okay, so these are our antagonists or protagonists. I'm going to put them right here. So under my protagonist, I have the clever kids who run the pumpkin detective, the twin one, the twin who realize, the scary cat, 11-year-old, the kids who discover that he can carve pumpkin and make them speak at midnight, the school gardener child who discovered their parents' pumpkins contain trapped soul, the new student around the block, and the young witch in training. So we have 7 very good ideas here. So these could be our heroes. Now our villain, we decide about 3 of those. So let's leave our villain over here. So villain monster, we had, let's see, one is the town ancestry pumpkin farmer who secretly breed them. This had to be sentient, the grumpy old scarecrow who come to life at Halloween, and the jack-o'-lantern is very jealous. Oh no, he's jealous of the jack-o'-lantern, sorry. And the ghostly pumpkin. All right, so we have all this information. So now we want some question about the setting, and I'm going to ask Chat to tell me about what's the best setting for all those pumpkins. So where does it take place? So quick. So we all know how to get that. You highlight and you go in and you go quick chat. Quick chat will show up over here. So we're going to put that question here. Where does this story with all my character take place? Character. Where's my character doesn't work? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It does understand. Oh, character. There we go. Let's see what he's going to tell us. And this is the free version of chat. I'm going to close this. All right, so the story takes place in a town with strong connection to Halloween tradition, particularly centered around pumpkins. To add depth, consider using a small quirky town for its annual pumpkin festival, which has dark history. Perhaps past festivals have been marred by strange occurrence or mysterious disappearance linking to the pumpkins. This setting could feel off due to the eerie atmosphere like flickering streetlight or whisper in the wind, and the story progress. The town charm could turn sinister, revealing secret hidden in the pumpkin patch or the old bakery. So, what do you think about this? That's not too bad. What's happened where there in the past? Now let's ask, because you did told us about the past. So let's be more precise on what happened in the past. From here, we built our spooky story for middle grade. So to create a compelling backstory, consider incorporating a tragic event linked to the town pumpkin festival. For example, maybe many years ago, a group of children went missing during the festival, believed to have been taken by an ancient spirit associated with the pumpkins. This event could have prompted a town-wide superstition about pumpkins, leading to the quirky but eerie atmosphere present in your story. The past would also involve a failed ritual meant to appease the spirit, resulting in a curse that affects the pumpkins each Halloween. This element would add a layer to the setting and motivate your character as they uncover the truth. We're going pretty good. Any more idea or things that you want me to add, or I just keep on going on my workflow? What make this place feel wrong? These are very good questions for that kind of story. We are just building the base to our story because tomorrow we're going to actually go in and build the world building, fill up our character pages, and get going and build that story. So at the end of the 4 day, we're going to have a full story written together, and that it's going to be very fun. Okay. To make this place feel wrong, consider incorporating unsettling details like unnatural silence. While the town seems festive, there's eerie quiet when night falls, making it feel as the pumpkins are watching. Okay, we can work with that and we can make it even bigger. We're going to use that describe and expand on that with just a word to make it more hairy or more strange. Strange occurrence, pumpkin that seems to move slightly when no one is looking, or whispers in the wind that carries snippet of laughter and cries, or cries. Distort reflection, mirror, or windows showing distort image of people or events, hinting into something lurking just beneath the surface. Fading colors, the vibrant colors of Halloween decoration look faded in the sickly, creating a sense of decay or neglect. Unsettling tradition. The town folks engaging in strange ritual around the pumpkins that outsiders find bizarre or frightening. Not too bad. So how does the setting change get worse as the story progresses? Let's ask the question. And we go to the plot structure with our 4-question too. All right. Escalating airy atmosphere, the cheerful decoration and festivity at the pumpkin festival begin to fade with more sign of decay, such as wilty flower or broken decoration. The once vibrant color become muted, contributing, okay, we saw this one earlier. Increased pumpkin activity at the night. Oh, that's better. So at the night, the pumpkins might start displaying more sinister behavior, like rolling around in their town, whispering secret, or revealing disturbing images on their surface. I like that. This one is really interesting. Manifestation of supernatural element. As the character delve deeper into the mystery, the presence of ancient spirit could become more apparent. resulting in shadow, cold spot, and strange noise that disturb their investigation deterioration relationship. The town folks may begin to act more suspiciously and frantically, showcasing their fear of the growing threat. Tension might arise between characters as paranoia set in. Okay, reveal the dark story. As the characters uncover their secret about the town past, they might find evidence of previous horror, like old newspaper clipping or hidden journal, creating a heavier sense of dreads. We can work with that. We're going to make it even stronger, more scary. We have a lot of good information in here, a lot of details that we can use in our story. Next, the plot structure. What my killer opening seal scene? Oh, the big hook here, which will, oops, sorry, that will bring people in right away. That killer line or scene that will escalate the pattern too. We have a lot of questions to ask, don't we? The killer opening scene. We go to the plot with 4 questions here. I'm going to say, now let's talk plot structure. What my killer opening scene, line or scene? All right, the opening line. As the last leaf of autumn fell, the town square buzzed with excitement, but beneath the laughter and light of the Pumpkins Festival, something darker stirred in the shadow of the patch. The line is creating an immediate contrast. Do you like this line? Or do you think it could be a lot stronger? Here. You don't like it either, huh? Too wordy and not strong enough for a hook. All right. I don't like it. And what else can we ask the AI? Say we don't like it because we need a stronger hook and more spooky. All right, got it. Let's create a stronger, spookier opening line. In the dead of the night, just as the moon hung high and full, the pumpkins in the patch began to pulse with a faint, hairy glow, whispering secret of the vanished children who had once carved their face into the night. I think that's much better and stronger than the first one. What do you think? Another description? What do you mean by another description? Is this one better, or you think it's too much description? It's not better? All right, give me some idea on how we get this opening too verbose. Better is very strong with things of horror, with a hint of horror, but too verbose. All right, let's see. Can you write less there? The night of the pumpkin festival, the carved face flickered to life, whispering the name of those who had vanished. Same thing, less long. Your readership is children, so it should be catchy, attention-grabbing, and punchy. Okay. Now we want it more children. It's 8 to 13, about, sometime 14. That's a good question, Mr. Bear. Do you want it to be character-driven or plot-driven? I really like to have my character to be driving the story, but for an Halloween, it has to have a very strong plot too. Rewrite for easy and more punchy for age 8 to 13 years old. That's great. Thank you, Mr. Bear. So Mr. Bear says 8 to 14, more than a whole middle grade range. If you want to skew younger and be character driven, the first opener works. If you want it to be older and plot driven, the second opener works better. Okay, let's see if we can get in the middle and catch everyone. Say opening line, on Halloween night, the pumpkins glow and whisper names of kids who had disappeared long ago. That's much, much simpler. Let's see if we use this one because it's easy for them to read. It's catch pretty much everything and it's easy words. So let's get with this part of this plot here. What's the escalation pattern from that? Okay. All right, the effectiveness of escalation pattern, consider these 3 of 5 increasingly scary encounter. The whispering pumpkin. The protagonist hears the pumpkins whispering names, but it's just creepy enough to make them uneasy. They brush it off as imagination. Almost like an adult. But most kids will do the same thing in a different way of saying things. Moving shadow. While investigating, the protagonist sees shadow darting between the pumpkins at night. They feel watched but can find anyone there. Next one is haunting vision. They have a nightmarish vision of the missing kids appearing in a glow in the pumpkins, begging for help. This blur the line between dreams and reality. Possessed pumpkins. One pumpkin suddenly come to life, rolling towards the protagonist and reveal sinister smile, causing them to run with fear. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys, I like those. And you're going to say, that's too strong for children. It's very scary. Why am I liking those? Because once we start writing the story, one thing that I find out with the AI is if you don't give the AI enough strong scene or details, it's kind of a bit boring when you start writing. So when we do write in the style and the genre, we're going to make sure this is middle grade stories. So as the AI is going to help us write our story, is going to tame a bit the really, really scary things. Plus, we're going to add that there's humor inside the story. We haven't developed our character yet, but I want something strong enough to work with. So this is why I'm going to keep those. And some of the things that you see, that's too strong for children because it's going to be tame as we write the story, but we're going to have enough strong information for the AI to go for the story we're looking for. Does that make sense to you? All right. So the pattern we got. All right. So the darkest woman when they all seem lost. Let's see. That will be considered a bit of the secret. Let's see if you can tell us about that. Okay, the darkest moment when all seems lost could be when the protagonist discover that their closest ally has been taken by the ancient spirit, leaving them alone and desperate. So the lower place in the story for the children is when they think everything is lost, leaving them alone and desperate. In a moment of despair, they may find themselves surrounded by the glowing pumpkins, which now seems to close in on them, whispering, taunted, and revealing their deepest fear. Okay. As they comfort the spirit, it presents a possible choice: sacrifice something precious to save their friends or risk losing everyone they care about. This is basically Halloween scary story. It's strong. It's fairly strong, and I want to make sure that we're going to get it to be a turn of heaven, make it also a bit cartoonish. Just right, but again, it's breaking point. Doesn't need all that. This part, yes. All right, let's put all of it. That's going to work. Okay, so we got this one. So are the kids defeated? So we have that answer here. Now, how does it defeat that? Is the AI, do I have a good answer for that? Do you guys have idea on how the kid, our protagonist, which we don't have a name yet, going to defeat losing his friend to the pumpkin patch? Is any of your imagination starting to roll? They uncover the spirit weakness through an old town record or tales from the pumpkin's farmer, learning that the spirit can be trapped in a specific type of enchanted pumpkins. Okay, you may have to grow in a different pumpkin somehow. Creating the enchanted pumpkins, the kids work together. When they're already in the pumpkins, are they supposed to work together? Or he has to make friends with other friends, other people in the school. The kids work together to carve a special pumpkins using symbols and elements that represent their fear, signify their strengths and unity. I like the research part. This second one a bit less, because if they're already inside a pumpkin, that makes no sense. We can ask for more. So during the climax, they set the enchanted pumpkins in the center of the patch as bait. Don't like that either. Comforting the sacrifice as the spirit approached the enchanted pumpkins, the kids confronted. Again, if the kids are in the pumpkin and then the little boy or the little girl's alone, how do you do that? I don't like that. Any of you like that? Let's ask the AI if it makes sense here. The protagonist is alone. They can still use cleverness to defeat the spirit. Okay. Research alone. All right. The protagonist find the old books or journal in the town library or hidden spot to the pumpkin patch that details. All right. So now he knows he's alone. Perfect. Creating the enchanting pumpkins. Instead of needing help, the protagonists carve a special pumpkins by themselves using the symbols that represent their fear, alongside of the person. Okay, he understood they're alone. Perfect. So he just rewrite everything as it's alone. We're gonna set the enchanted pumpkins in the middle. Okay, so after he did the carving, so First is doing the research, which probably tell him to do the carving, and then he's going to get from the research that he has to put, or he should put it in the middle to trap the other pumpkins. Confrontation. When the spirit appeared, the protagonist bravely confronted alone, using the knowledge if they've gained, or he or she, they can speak to the spirit, showing understanding or of its pain, which might weaken it. The final binding. As the spirit approach the enchanted pumpkins, the protagonist can use the chant from their research to seal the spirit within, relying on their newfound courage and cleverness. All right, we're going somewhere. It's not perfect, but it's a start. I like that. Now that you figure out that it's alone, let's copy this. What do you think so far? All right. Tone and balance, 3 questions. Where's my humor? Comic relief, character, funny situation. All right. How would you go about finding this information here? Or do you go and start doing your character, the location, and develop your story? This thing is talking by itself. Did I click somewhere? I don't know. I click on my voice. I must have clicked on my voice. Book 1, what goes bump in the night? Okay, it's basically is using my voice. So if that happened to you, it's basically my voice beta is open. And I have some of my story, which is what goes bump in the night, which is a scary middle grade story, which is already published. And it's basically here. How do I get this off here? I'm fighting with the chat box. There we go, little arrow. So one thing that if you have already my voice in a scary movie story that you have that you like to base yourself on, you can use it there. And that's what's probably happened here is when I did, where are we here? I'm in the same place. The villain monster, 1, 2, 3. Whisper, the escalation, how the kids defeated, 1, 2, 3. The tone and balance. Okay, so when I did come here, when I did highlight, I probably click on my voice here, which is also part of the highlight. You can use my voice to continue writing a few things. So then that's what happened here. Okay, so we did like kind of lose our little chat. Give me that chat back. How are we doing in the chat here? Your approach to story is really good. I have to learn a lot from your question. Yeah, those questions are not just for the AI. Those questions are as good for the AI as they are for you as a writer to write those stories. So it doesn't, just to show you, you can use the AI, but you can use your own brain to do it too. Exactly. Okay, so where's my humor? Let's ask where is the humor inside this here? If the AI has some idea for where is the humor in this story? Okay. Incorporate humor to your story, consider this element. Comic relief character. Introduce a quirky sidekick like a talking pumpkins or funny pet that lighten tense moment with playful banter and absurd moment or comment about the spooky event. Humorous situation, create a funny scene. And right now I'm writing it and I'm seeing the little boy or the little girl putting her or his feet in one of the pumpkin and trying to walk through the garden with that. So yeah, no, my head is going. So humor situation, create a funny scenes where the protagonist misinterpret the situation. we're almost at the top of the hours too, so I'm going to try to go as fast as possible to finish this and show you a bit how to process the next step we're going to do tomorrow. So the immersive situation, create a funny scene where the protagonist misinterpret the situation, like accidentally scaring themselves while trying to sneak around the pumpkin patch or getting tangled in a pumpkin vine during the chase. Witty dialogue, add snappy, playful exchange between character, and this is exactly what's going to happen when it gets to the writing style, especially when they're scared of or in danger. This can showcase their personality and make the story feel more relatable. Exaggerate reaction, character could have over the top reaction to spooky occurrence, like dramatically fainting when the pumpkin roll away or comically trying to convince themselves that the whisper are just the wind. That one is not so fun. Pun-filled description. Use puns related to pumpkins and Halloween, like calling the mischievous pumpkin pumpkin, or describing the scarecrow as too corny to be scary. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Kind of like that. All right, I like this pun-filled one. Exaggerate thing here. Snappy we. Yeah, let's copy all these there so we have something to go with. Wave Is this scary enough without being traumatizing? I think we have that. It's not scary enough. It's not going to be traumatizing. I can answer that without asking the AI already. If you have any different take on it, let me know. Next, to incorporate humor to your story. That's what we just did. Guess against guideline. What's my twist ending? All right. What is that ending for that story? How do you think that story is going to be ending, guys? For twisting ending, consider revealing that the ancient spirit was once a beloved member of the town who sacrificed themselves to protect the children from a greater evil. As the protagonists defeat the spirit, they discover that freeing it allowed the spirit to pass on, but it also revealed a hidden truth. The pumpkins were a safeguard protecting the town from a darker force that now awoken. Oops, book number 2. In the final moment, as the protagonists celebrate their victory, a new pumpkins in a patch glow ominously, suggesting that the cycle of danger is far from over. The twist add death, shifting the perspective on the spirit and leaving the reader with the lingering sense of dread or curiosity about what lies ahead. Like next year, Halloween, you can get book number 2. So that's not a bad idea. I kind of like that. And it's kind of good for a kid's story. All right, so we have all that to work with. Bonus question, there's bonus question 2. We can get our character much deeper. We can do more reality and things like that. Because we already at the top of the hour and I see people have to leave because it's a work week and I don't want to lose everybody on this. I want to show you what I would do with all the information we got from all our questions here. So I would go to, basically, I want to export this one, which is my pumpkin. Those are my question here. Crafting, compelling. I try to figure out which one I was asking question about. The core question. There we go, I-25 question. So we have this here. I'm going to take all that we put together. I have to put the right one. And I'm going to export as a doc. And I'm going to use Sudowrite to answer me a lot of those questions. So for today, I'm going to show you how I'm going to bring these information. I'm just going to do an importation of what we just did. And I'm going to ask to train my AI in the same time. So I'm going to browse. I'm going to go into my download. We go by, oh, there it is, the first one. I'm going to open that. And I'm going to let Sudowrite fill up the information for tomorrow. So on this, at the top of the hour, as promised, I try to keep it at 1 hour. What do we have? Do we have question here? So did the format for all of these core question come from chat, or was there a document that you use? Yes, the document that I shared, the first document I shared was all the question, which I will put again inside a document that I will share with you tomorrow, putting all those questions in and the answer that we got here. And tomorrow you'll have everything put inside this new core question for creepy creation. It's going to do the analyzing information right now. And then tomorrow we get the result and probably some names. And then we can get our setting, our character, and all the information we need. Yes, you will get the AI to work for you. So instead of having to copy, paste, and get lost in all these information, because we did ask a lot of questions, we did answer some of those questions our own. So these questions are for you to work with. Thank you, Betty. So do you have any question, or basically everything is good and tomorrow we're going to open this one together and go from there and follow the rest of my workflow? So we can get, at least tomorrow, we're going to, by the end of the hour, we should have an outline. And then the next day we're going to get chapter 1 and 2 written, if not the whole book in one shot. And then we're going to do editing and embellishing the book. So by day 4, we get the whole story finished. That makes sense? All right. So on this, I'm going to say thank you so much. Question average word count for middle grade. I like to stay, depending on what kind of story you do. If you do a short story and you want to have a very small books, it can go around 10,000 words. If you want like a small chapter books, it turn into 30 30,000 words about in my workflow, and my editor always asking me to keep my short story below 10,000 words. And if I do a book, chapter books, she wants between 30 and below 50,000 words. And obviously easy words with something which keep the attention of the children the whole time. So if it's too long, you're going to lose them. So I hope that answered your question. I can make some search, and I wish to show you also about the deep search we're going to bring inside the whole workflow too. So on this, any more question I can answer during we are on the recording? If not, I will say thank you everyone for being with me on day 1 of 4 for middle grade spooky story. Tomorrow we're going to keep on going and develop that whole story to make it unforgettable for the middle grade people. So on this, I say thank you very much. My name is Manon Doucet, and I will see you tomorrow.
Carved a grin from ear to ear. October's best night of the year. Candles glowing orange and bright. Jack-o'-lanterns light the night. It's a pumpkin party. Pumpkin party. Dancing in the moonlight. Spooky and hardy. From the porch steps to the street. Orange heads with glowing heat. It's a pumpkin party tonight. Triangle eyes that flicker and stare. Zigzag teeth without a care. Some are silly, some are mean. The coolest pumpkins you've ever seen. It's a pumpkin party. Pumpkin party. Dancing in the moonlight. Spooky and hardy. From the porch steps to the street, orange heads with glowing heat. It's a pumpkin party tonight. When the trick-or-treaters come around, we'll guard the houses, not a sound, until November steals our flame. We'll keep on glowing all the same. It's a pumpkin party. Hey! Pumpkin party. Hey! Join us in the moonlight. Hey! Everybody starting. Ghouls and goblins, what a sight. We'll glow together through the night. It's a pumpkin party tonight. Pumpkin party tonight.